Starting a travel vlog is extremely hard for many reasons. In fact, from a business standpoint, it's probably the least profitable and most risk-averse. If you're a YouTube content creator, especially a travel style creator that is just starting out, or someone who wants to know what goes on behind the scenes of running a travel YouTube channel, then this video is for you. You see, travel channels aren't reliant on making videos from a home office or studio. Our videos require us to get out into the field, to invest in travels and different ideas, and most importantly, to interact with locals and show local culture while keeping it as engaging, entertaining, and educational as possible. This video is going to help explain some of the challenges of being a small YouTuber that focuses on travel content. Is it really worth it? Should you even try? Should you just give up? What are your motivations? What makes a successful travel vlogger? Fortunately, I've got a special guest to do this today. His name is the Saluki. The Saluki is a travel vlogger from Israel who's lived in and traveled to several countries such as Romania, Iraq, Vietnam, Israel, Palestine, and most recently, Colombia. I truly think his content is out of this world good, and one day I believe he'll be one of the top travel vloggers on YouTube. Now, Saluki and I have a few things in common which I think help our message and aspirations align. Most notably that we're both young and aspiring travel vloggers who are extremely passionate about what we're doing. We're both adventurous in nature and thrill-seeking who like to educate our audience, and we're both relatively small YouTubers. At the time of this video being recorded, I have 9.4k subs and the Saluki has 17k subs. One thing I've learned about my YouTube journey this far is that us small YouTubers must support each other. That's where collaborations come in. Another thing I've learned about YouTube thus far is that there's an audience out there for everyone, provided that you truly love doing what you're doing. And at the same time, you have to be open to failing, a lot. You have to be able to learn new things and adapt to new circumstances, and most importantly, you have to learn to never give up. Trust me when I say this, we don't do this for money. If that was the case, it would be one of the dumbest decisions we've made in our lives. We do this because we want to. We do this because we find joy in sharing things that interest and inspire us. And to have an audience that shares that with us is probably the greatest feeling in the world. So before we even start, thanks to all of you who follow us. We are nothing without you guys. Now before we get this video started, you guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my new sponsor, West Cork Beard Company out of Clonakilty, Ireland. So having a sponsor like this is huge for me because not only do I identify with Colin and West Cork Beard Company, but also he believes in me and he believes in my dreams and what I want to do with this channel. Second, Colin and I personally know each other. He often travels here to Spain and we just share that same adventurous spirit and passion for Spain. Lastly, I'm always rocking a beard, so it only makes sense that I start taking care of my beard with a product like beard oil, and this stuff is called cedarwood and Siberian fir, and I really like this stuff because it reminds me of my home state in Wisconsin. Alright, so let's get into the video with the Saluki from Malaga, Spain. Welcome back to the channel, Adventures. It's Adventure Elliot here, and today I'm in Malaga, Spain, and I've got a special guest by the name of the Saluki on YouTube.
What's cooking?
The Saluki, he reached out to me. Ketal, yeah. He's a polyglot, he speaks a lot of languages, more on that later. He reached out to me on Instagram because he's always networking, as most of us small YouTubers, or any YouTuber for that matter, is always networking, at least if they're looking to advance, get better, etc. And so I'm here with the Saluki. Saluki, can you give us a brief introduction of your channel, what you do? We're both adventure style channels with a little action camera, nothing too complicated, but yet he has some insane videos. Can you give us a brief background of your channel?
Let me tell you a bit more about how I met Elliot. So back to that YouTuber's always networking thing. I just looked for videos in Malaga, Spain, and I found his channel. And I feel like in YouTube, if you want to get better, you have to, kind of like chess, play better opponents and learn from their expertise in that, in anything in life.
A lot of what we're going to talk about here in today's video can be applied to life without a doubt, in business endeavors and studies and career aspirations, life aspirations, whatever it may be. YouTube has a similar model towards growing and success. Okay, so what in general, what is your channel about? What kind of videos do you make? Where do you go?
So I make contemporary documentaries, I'd say, about how people live in all different places in the world. I've been to Palestine, Iraq, some of the sketchiest places imaginable in normal European countries, like nefarious neighborhoods. and stuff like that. And now, for example, I'm in Malaga, Spain. I'm just chilling here between flights because flights are very cheap in Europe, and I kind of found myself here. I'm not going to be making too many videos here, just this one.
While we're both adventurers and we're both relatively small YouTubers that are working on growing little by little, we both have different sort of, I guess you could call, sub niches. He makes more edgy on the edge of your seat type videos in pretty dangerous places. I mean, among the most dangerous places in the world. For example, you were just in Palestine, right?
And here behind me is a base for the Palestinian National Security Forces. I'm surprised that there's nobody. Sorry, oh shit. As we approach Balata, that's gunshots.
And so you being in Palestine, why was that dangerous for you?
Palestine isn't a very dangerous place as a foreigner, somebody who's not related at all to the conflict. But for me, as an Israeli citizen, I would have to conceal my identity there because it's pretty simple. For example, Israelis have Palestinians in Israeli prisons, in detention centers, whatever. The Palestinians know that if they kidnap me, for example, then they could kind of trade me for one of their cousins or somebody that they know that found themselves in an Israeli prison. And of course I don't think I have to explain about, you know, the whole beef between Israel and Palestine or whatever.
Yeah. You guys, he's been to some edgy places without a doubt. I highly suggest if you're into that stuff, different travel style videos like that, definitely check his channel out. What inspires you? What gives you that idea? What makes you want to make videos like that and take those risks? Because some would say you're playing with fire. You're literally risking your life to make a video on YouTube. It's crazy.
So the reason I'm willing to take risks to make these videos, to get this content, is because when I do something, then I go all the way. I'm willing to stop at nothing to succeed on YouTube. For me, that's kind of the most interesting stuff. That it really intrigues me to see how people live in a refugee camp in Palestine, for example, or how the Romanian gypsies get by in their neighborhood. So that's kind of why I go for that, even though I might be risking my life a lot of the time.
Yeah. And so going off of that point, you know, one thing is coming up with a YouTube idea. The other thing is executing that idea, going out with the camera, capturing the reality on camera, these interactions with people that you have in different languages perhaps. And then of course, the post-production, which is, you know, it's a lot more than what you just see on the published video. So what are some challenges with filming these videos in edgy places that you've been? And what are some of the things that people don't see that you're doing, that we're doing as content creators?
So, edgy places or not, what's difficult about making this kind of video where you're interacting with locals and you're kind of letting the story come to you is that you can go somewhere and nothing is gonna happen. It's just gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be a Sunday and the streets are gonna be empty and you might just not meet many interesting people that day. So that's why, for example, now we started filming a bit before sunset, and that's all right because we know that it's me and you, we're gonna talk and that's it. But when you're making a video that's sort of dependent on the people you meet and how you bring their story to you, then you could be out for a long time and not really meet anyone.
Yeah, for sure. That's why sometimes you guys, in some of my videos you've seen, I'll make a comment saying, oh, the YouTube gods are with us today, because for every video or clip that is captured successfully on camera, there's a lot more videos that we end up throwing out, that we end up deleting because they just didn't turn out the way we wanted to. And so the filming process itself takes a lot of energy, a lot of pre-planning, and honestly, a lot of times it takes luck. But one important characteristic that you have, and that many YouTubers that succeed have, is to capture those scenes, you have to have a level of charisma, and you have to have something that's different, right? You have to offer something that's unique, maybe that's your intelligence, maybe that's your charisma, maybe that's speaking multiple languages.
You have to be a people's person. You have to be the kind of person that people will meet on the street and want to talk to.
Yeah. So you speak how many languages? Because in a lot of your videos you have languages, you have different languages being spoken, and you always have subtitles. So what languages are you speaking to help you execute these videos?
So I speak, I don't speak English. No, I'm kidding. English, Hebrew, the language spoken in Israel, Russian and Spanish.
Jesus.
Those are fluent, and some Arabic, and also, if you speak languages like Spanish and Russian, then you can kind of get by in places like where they speak Portuguese, Romanian, all these Latin languages, because you can make Italian, because you can make out what people are saying if you really put your mind to it. Yeah. But currently and I'm learning other languages. I'm going to Latin America now. I'm definitely gonna improve my Spanish to native level, and then I could acquire languages like Portuguese and French easier. And Italian. I also speak a little bit of Arabic, and that just on virtue, I never studied it, that's just kind of on the virtue of it being similar to Hebrew. And so growing up in Israel. Yeah. So the reason I like learning languages so much is also because it makes for better content. It gives me access to talking to locals in different parts of the world. Currently, with the languages I speak, I could be in more than half the world's countries, over 100, and speak the local language. So I've noticed you also just hanging around with Elliot. You know all these different dialects of Spanish.
Me pregunto si he ido a Venezuela. En mi sueño. En mi sueño. Dentro de 2-3 añitos, cuando se vaya Maduro.
Like, we could be walking in the street and he recognizes a Venezuelan dude and he's like, ¿Qué lo que? ¿Qué lo que? ¿Qué lo que? That's Dominican? De pana. Bueno, es que lo que, bueno, caribeño. Ah, caribeño. Yeah, like you'll see an Argentinian and you'll be like, ¿Qué onda, boluda? You feel me? Yeah. Like, what made you decide I'm gonna move to Spain, learn Spanish and that?
Oh, it started many years ago. I was interested in geography and biology always, right? Natural science. And so I had to go to Costa Rica and learn Spanish to learn more about the biology, of course, as Costa Rica is a biodiverse nation. And one thing led to another. I started to fall in love with Spanish more and more and more. That was back in like 2015, and then I just kept going back and going back. And I just had all these enthralling, ridiculous travel adventures, usually solo, and it just kind of went from there. And then I wanted to get to a level to become almost, you know, more than fluent to a native level, so that I could use it for a job in the United States. But one thing led to another. In the quarantine in Spain, I started a YouTube channel, and I also got a girlfriend from Venezuela. So while I'm learning Spanish from Spain, I'm also simultaneously always practicing Spanish from Venezuela. I live in Costa Rica. I know Panamanian Spanish, Colombian Spanish, and it's a nice segue into what I want to do with my channel by exploring the Spanish-speaking world.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing, learning, just seeing the way that these people's faces light up.
Que en algún momento de nuestras vidas nos vamos a encontrar y podamos recordar estos momentos. Pero que estés aquí en España promocionando nuestro país, a mí me encanta.
Bye, Ellie.
Bye, Elliot.
Hasta luego.
When he speaks to them in their local slang or local dialect, it's a way to appreciate their culture. And
yeah, and at the end of the day, when you're traveling, it could be about the landscapes, it could be about the beautiful places, but at the end of the day, it's about the people and who you come into contact with. And that's what makes an enticing video, is showing the local cultures, the languages, the customs, and the authentic and genuine interactions. Whether it's in Spain, whether it's in Israel, Palestine, South America, anywhere you go, Russia, it's all the same. People are the same everywhere.
Elliot, you've said you've had some enthralling experiences, some great adventures before you started filming them. Don't you just wish sometimes that you would have started your channel like maybe a couple years back?
Yeah, dude, in like 2016 I bought a GoPro 4. I bought a GoPro 4, and I was recording stuff in Costa Rica and Panama, like for example crossing the Panamanian border, and I found this guy who had a cabin on an isolated Caribbean island. And I went and he showed me his property. There was indigenous people only on this island, stuff like that. Or like walking in the most dangerous neighborhoods of San Jose, Costa Rica, or Medellin, Colombia, Bogota. If I was able to capture that stuff in 2015, who knows where I would have been. But it's helped me kind of get a feel for traveling, those experiences, doing them alone without camera. So now the plan is to be able to one day go back to those places and capture the reality of those places, which for me are more exciting because they're edgy. You're on a more adrenaline rush always when you're in Latin America. And if you know Spanish and English, you can reach millions and millions of people doing that at the same time. So yeah, I wish I had a camera, a good camera back then, because the GoPro 4 sucked, to be honest. The audio was terrible, but it is what it is, man. We live and we learn, and there's always tomorrow. And on that note of adrenaline-filled, action-pumped, enthralling adventures, the Saluki has obviously been in some places like I mentioned earlier. Dude, can you tell me about some of the most dangerous and exciting experiences? I like how we associate danger and exciting together. Some people would call us crazy, I guess, but no, others, I mean, you see what's going on. It's kind of a popular up-and-coming niche to show these things on camera now. So
to be honest, if you would ask, like, it's not just for YouTube, the reason that I do these things. Like, if you would ask people that know me before YouTube, I've always wanted to go to Rocky Kurdistan, like I went, and I always wanted to go to Palestine as well, because it's stuff that I've been warned not to do all my life pretty much. Even I'd say indoctrinated not to do. So it kind of makes you want to do it more. You know, it's a certain, it's like in America where you're from, where you're not allowed to drink until 21.
Right, something that's taboo.
Yeah, so kind of everybody wants to, they kind of end up drinking more before 21, right? Because it's like forbidden and it's kind of taboo and you want to do it even more.
Yeah. What were some dangerous moments that you had, for example, in Palestine and Romania?
And I went to Balata refugee camp in Palestine, which is a place that every week, every other day, we hear of somebody getting killed. And there's the Palestinian Authority, right, in Palestine, but this place doesn't agree with the Palestinian Authority, so they constantly have clashes with them, gunfire in the streets, so basically a very dangerous place in general. And when I was just walking there, there was gunfire in the streets. I don't know what it could have been, you know, maybe the day after, actually, there was a murder there. So yeah, who knows. When I was there, I was speaking a bit of Arabic, and there's a problem with Israeli people speaking Arabic if you're trying to hide your identity, because like in Spanish there's the ch sound, but there's ch and there's h, and kind of we have Arabic words in Hebrew, but we don't do the h, we just do the ch sound, and then you kind of forget about that, and then you say, for example, you know Habibi, so we say Habibi and they say Habibi, and you just kind of sometimes say it as a reflex. Yeah. Like to people on the street, Habibi. Yeah. And I said to the guy, like, I tapped him on the shoulder and I was like, Habibi. Habibi is like mi querido, like, yeah, like bro, whatever.
Cariño, yeah.
Yeah.
Hermano.
Yeah, like my dear kind of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I said like Habibi to him in the middle of that like refugee camp, and he might have noticed, he might have not, to be honest. Yeah. I'm not sure to this day.
Well, you made it out alive, so
yeah,
that's why we're here today. And so like it's the same thing in Latin America, you know, everybody knows if you're a gringo, but as soon as you speak, you might become a target. So you got to be careful navigating certain situations in Latin America. And on that note, one of the aspirations we both have is that we both would love to go to Venezuela and explore the geopolitical, the sociological scene there, the economy, of course, and of the people, right? Because there's a lot of amazing people. I've been meeting Venezuelans for many years, and the Saluki was mentioning that he aspires to go there, and so
I've also met my fair share of Venezuelans, you know, living in Vietnam and that. Anywhere you go, basically, that's better than Venezuela, you're gonna find Venezuelan people.
So on the note of being a small YouTuber, both of us are around the same amount of subscribers. I have around 7,000 at the time of this video. You have how many?
Almost 9,000 as well.
Yeah, almost 9,000. And so starting from zero is obviously a massive challenge to figure out and experiment and learn how to grow as a small YouTuber. And also there's financial issues because some people start with money, others start with barely anything. So in our case, I literally spent all the money I had on a computer and a small action camera. And you as well, you've been traveling on a budget for quite some time, many years. Talk about the struggles, the financial struggles, and also just this general struggles of starting a YouTube channel from scratch.
So touching on the financial struggles, like you saw in my last video, I don't know when this goes up, but you saw like me sleeping on the streets in Ramallah, Palestine, or sleeping inside a mosque. So that's why, for example, I'm trying to get myself out of Malaga and I'm going to Colombia very soon, because I know that a hostel, like a shared dormitory, I don't even stay in hotels, yeah, I stay in bunk beds, but a shared dormitory in Colombia goes for as cheap as €3.
Yeah.
Or $4
compared
to here, where it's 20 euros.
Yeah.
So when I spend time in countries like Spain, that's why I also don't kind of film here too much, because I know, like, for example, I wanted to make a video about Gibraltar, see how British it is and all that, as somebody who's lived in Britain. But Elliot here told me, like, you're gonna spend at least €100 on the whole day.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's very challenging to make videos in places like this, and that's why I kind of go to the more cheaper places. Romania, Ukraine,
yeah,
Moldova, Colombia.
And I think from a curiosity aspect, while Spain, and I love Spain, and I've been making over 100 videos, over 150 videos in Spain, eventually you got to go to places that draw more attention. And so I think he's seen quicker growth with less videos because he's been going to places like this and he's been offering something different. And that's sort of the idea of my channel, is that to understand Latin America and all the other Spanish-speaking territories and countries in the world, you have to understand the origin. Just like in your case, you make a lot of videos in the Middle East, or you have, and so you really understand the Arabic world, the Jewish world. You come from a unique and different background, and so to be a successful YouTuber, you always still, at the end of the day, gotta provide something different.
Certainly, definitely, you have to provide something different. You have to take that small advantage, because we all have one, and sort of make a career out of it. Let's say, yeah, I'm Jewish. I could have made a great series about, I don't know, the Jews of New York or whatever. And, you know, if I was a black man, I would talk about the experiences of being black in white countries. But yeah, you just kind of like got to take the advantage or disadvantage that you're born with and make it into something.
You really got to take some calculated risks and bet on yourself. So in my case, I picked up from the United States, I left, I sold everything, and I've been in Spain for 2 years. I didn't know I was gonna start a YouTube channel, but you know, there's always this underlying belief in yourself, which is another important factor when you're a small YouTube channel and you're not actually making a lot of cheddar. You have to maintain that belief in yourself. And so that's why I wanted to meet Saluki and do this video with him, because when I see someone talented, when I see someone who's intriguing and who has a bright future, I find value in collaborating and sharing that experience with you guys, my audience, but also with his audience, because...
Thank you, likewise.
Yeah, I definitely see a bright future, and we'll see where the future brings us, you know? Who knows in a year or 2 years from now where we'll be, but at least we can
find a collaboration in Venezuela.
That would be awesome. But at least we'll be able to look back on this interview and see where we are. So obviously in 2021, YouTube is a very powerful network. I mean, I wouldn't have met this guy if it wasn't for YouTube. And you can do a lot of things with it, whether it's philanthropy, whether it's your own business, whether it's entertainment, basically anything you can think of. And so for a lot of us, the goal is to sustain ourselves and live a happy life, making content that we enjoy, providing value, and perhaps eventually giving back. So 5 years from now, what are some things you aspire to do with your channel? What are some of your goals?
I say once you've made it on YouTube, made it, I don't know, 100,000, 1 million subscribers, you can kind of wiggle your way into anything in the entertainment industry. If you want to make music, you can go and make music. If you want to become an actor, you can use that platform to become an actor. And if you can if you want to do, I don't know, philanthropy, if you want to make your business, like, you learn some valuable skills.
For sure.
You could make a business where you help people grow their YouTube channels, since it's such a hot topic these days.
Yeah.
So I think you can take it wherever you want to be, and that's why I don't think it's such a blind kind of hope to chase success in YouTube, because while it may seem to be fickle, like you're popular or famous this day and people forget about you the next, it's the skills that you acquire down through the journey that are going to stick with you and that are marketable.
It's a beautiful thing to be able to create things you're passionate about, create stories out of basically nothing, and put them in a way that is intriguing for an audience to listen to, and for that audience to grow and follow you, and for you to nurture that audience. I think that's like the most valuable skill, because you learn how to understand people and what they want, but also find a happy medium between what you want to do and what they want you to do. And that whole process might take a couple months, it might take a couple years, it might take longer than that, because for every famous or viral YouTuber, there's hundreds, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of smaller YouTubers just trying to scratch the surface and get followers. And it's not an easy thing, which is why I've said it multiple times here, that you have to provide something different.
And there might be small YouTubers we've never heard about that make better content than you and I. You know?
Yeah, and so
it's kind of like rap music, for example. How many great rappers are stuck in the underground?
Right. So I totally encourage friendly competition. You know, you could definitely say he is my competition, but we're different at the same time. And so I invite him to do better, and he invites me to do better. And there's enough views to go around for everyone, because YouTube isn't going anywhere. Social media isn't going anywhere. It might evolve and change, but it is the future.
Definitely. And also, what's the harm of helping another YouTuber grow? You see, my first 1,000 subscribers, I have a man called Yatri Doctor to thank for, which was an Indian bloke that I met while traveling in Iraq. He was a YouTuber at the time, 600k subscribers. I featured on his video for like 20 seconds, and boom, that boosted me to 1,000.
So your name is
Saluki.
Saluki, and you can go and subscribe his channel.
Yeah, I visited on a Romanian passport. My Romanian passport still says born in Israel, so I thought I would have some trouble with that, but apparently not. And the first 1,000 are the hardest. Wow, look at that sunset.
Yeah.
The first 1,000 subscribers are the hardest to acquire. You know, the first 1,000 are the
absolutely
hardest.
Absolutely, getting monetized.
Getting monetized, and from there the snowball just keeps rolling and becoming bigger and greater.
I actually needed a snowstorm, a natural disaster, one of Madrid's biggest snowstorms on history, to get a video that got over 40,000 views. And then I caught a break because I made a video about reasons I love living in Spain, and those informational videos. Just check out this sunset, you guys. This is why people come to southern Spain to live. Absolutely incredible. So those informative videos are really hot topics, and they provide a lot of value to people. So if you watch videos on YouTube, you're probably interested in how to grow, and maybe you want to grow your own channel, start your own channel. I often have other small YouTubers follow me, or people ask me questions. And so, coming from two YouTubers, what advice would you have to someone who's starting a YouTube channel to persist, to grow? Offer some words of wisdom.
First of all, you just said to persist.
Yeah,
that's a great word right there, because that's, for me, what I think is the most important thing with doing YouTube is consistency and persistence.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you can make not the greatest videos in the world, and just because of familiarity with human beings, you could become successful. Just because people see your videos once, twice, 3 times a week, and they just start to like you, even if your videos are like shaky or you're using an iPhone camera. It's just about getting people to, you know, keep watching, keep coming back for more,
and know who you are, and see how you transmit your personality and your likability through a video, which obviously takes experimentation and persistence and consistency.
And of course, like, no matter what you do, when you pick up the camera one day, no matter how good you are when you started, look at a video 1 year later and you're gonna be like, wow, that was
dude,
cringe.
My first videos were so bad, so boring, but
Same here, yeah.
I'm definitely not gonna delete them. I'm not gonna delete them because I like to show that experience.
Hell yeah, that's legacy. I mean, I've got videos for when I was 14 years old and I just left them on the channel because
Yeah.
Some people tell me like, how haven't I made it yet and stuff on YouTube, and I see like they posted a video 1 month ago and then another one, and before that 3 months they didn't post. So what do you expect? You've got to put your all into it, because
Yeah, and for our sake, since we're travel vloggers, adventure style, you know, you do have to travel, which is an investment, which costs money, which takes a lot of risk.
So,
Okay.
I believe you can diversify your content even as a travel vlogger. You know, you're making the odd video where you're doing it podcast-esque like this one.
Yeah.
Or you could, I don't know, talk about experiences when you don't have the ability to travel for that certain week or whatever. Like,
this is definitely an experiment, but I honestly thought that having the Saluki here would provide value to you guys, and that's why I wanted to have it on. And who knows, like I said, maybe in a year, 2 years, we'll be somewhere completely different at a whole different level. So
yeah, and we've got to cherish this moment.
absolutely.
There's a lot of value at this point of the road. There's a lot of value in being broke, because when you're broke, you're hungry.
For
you
sure,
want to make
dude.
it bigger.
For sure.
You want to do 10 videos a day. You know what I'm saying? You want to achieve the impossible just to get out of that situation, just to get out of that rut.
No doubt, man.
So I think you shouldn't envy other people that have already made it. You should see the value in these moments.
For sure.
When you've got to struggle.
And that applies to like most things in life, you know, people that became famous or became a doctor or a teacher, whatever it may be, there was definitely a grind.
Yeah. Look at the, you know, that film with Will Smith and his son Jaden.
Yeah, Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness, yeah.
You know, some people come from trust runs, but the majority of us, no. So,
Even if you do, after a year of traveling, it's gonna be gone.
yeah. So there's a saying in Spanish I wanna teach you. Here it goes. It's called "No es el destino, sino el camino."
Know the road. There is no destination without the road. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about the destination, but the journey.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
appreciate the little things in the moment, and it's good to have someone who's down to earth.
Neither.
All right, bro.
All right, and
Stay safe in Colombia and Venezuela.
I will.
Don't go looking for Nicolas Maduro and the narcos, but rather some mamacitas, okay?
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Don't have too many kids. All right. See you guys on the next video. But still, if someone doesn't believe that Saluki and I are friends, well, here it is.
Yeah, here's the truth.
Saluki! Hoo hoo hoo!